just beneath the waves. This water carries my soul. This water through all things flow. This water holds stories of time. Well, this water is alive. Always breaking, sometimes taking from the land just at its edge. Even deeper are still secrets that may never be known to us. Well, this water carries my soul. This water through all things flow. This water holds stories of time. Oh, this water is life. And when the sun shines on it, I'm blinded by the reflection. And when the moon shines on it, I may change my direction. This water carries my soul. This water through all things flow. This water holds stories of time. Oh, this water is life. This water is life. Thank you.
Kim and Brian, wow, so great to have you back. Oh, welcome again, one more time. And Kim and Brian would like you to know that they have an original EP coming out on December 18th, release date. It is called In the Valley of the Blues. Can't wait to hear that. And some additional music today. My name is Chris Lasarga, and it is absolutely my joy to welcome you here this morning. If you have any questions or concerns or joys, please share them with us. Contact our office during business hours at 253-301-0385, or you can email us at office@unityofsouthsound.org. At this time, we also invite you to put your cell phones into silence And we invite you to relax, reconnect, and center in the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in saying our opening affirmation? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence. Our mission statement: inspired by the divine, as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. Our vision statement: present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values: we are love, joy, abundance, and spirit guided. And now Reverend Megan will lead us in an opening prayer.
So we just feel the vibration in this room and the music that we just experienced that set that vibration out into that space for us to align and feel and know who we are. So I light this light as a reminder. There we go. See that little flame? Just imagine it's within you. And all this amazing artwork that we're surrounded by is the creation of the universe speaking to us that one step at a time we are co-creating an experience to thrive and to realize the abundance of life. So I want to acknowledge Carl, who's painting for today, the 6th week, the 6th key of our creative genius is expressing as. And just let that speak to you throughout the service today. The creativity within us. And so we close our eyes and we breathe it in. We feel it, we know it, because we are one with our true nature. Whatever name you call it, divine self, God self, Godness, Buddha nature, Christ nature, it's all the same. And so breathe it in and know I am one with that presence and that power in this moment and with every breath. What is awakening in me now? What is awakening in Unity of South Sound now? Let it come forth and know it is good, and so it is. Amen.
Now I invite you to stand if you're able and join with our song leader today, Annie Lane Ryan, in singing our congregational songs.
Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from
where we get to greet each other with a namaste greeting. If you feel comfortable, you can give an elbow bump. Otherwise, we just invite you to place your hands together and say, Namaste. I behold the divinity. You are. Namaste.
Everywhere I look, I see God in everything, deep inside and all around me. God in everything, I can feel it in my beating heart. God in everything, it's in every breath of life I take. God in everywhere I look, I see God in everything, deep inside and all around me. God in everything, it's in every stranger's face I see. God in everything, brothers, sisters, family are we. God in everything, everywhere I look, I see God in everything, deep inside and all around me. God in everything, it's in mountain, valley, lake, and stream. God in everything, all creation beautiful and free. God in everything, God in everything, God in everything. Beautiful, thank you.
You all sound wonderful. Thank you, Annie. Today's inspirational reading is from today's daily word for Sunday, November 6, 2022. It is balance. In honor of life's shifting rhythms, sometimes trying to balance my schedule, meet my obligations, and even find time for things I enjoy can leave me scrambling to figure out how to fit it all in. Today, I take care and I take my cue from nature and notice the rhythm of the seasons and the tides, the cycles of growth, and the order that underlies all things. I appreciate how seamlessly the natural world balances itself and restores itself to harmony. This gift of harmony and balance lives in me. I honor myself when I flow with it instead of forcing my will upon it. I listen to my body's many signals. I rest when I'm tired. I eat when I'm hungry. And I socialize and seek solitude as I need to. As I care for myself, I find balance. For there is nothing better for people under the sun than to eat and drink and enjoy themselves. Ecclesiastes 8:15.
you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then why can't I? Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Thank you. Brian Feist. Thank you.
Wow. Kim and Brian, you have just ignited the room. Thank you. I hope you're all beginning to feel inspired, to feel the little vibrational tingling that's alive within you that's saying, pay attention. Pay attention in ways that you never did before. So we've been exploring this creation story as a model of our creative process to experience our own creative genius through this book, The Creative Life, The 7 Keys to Your Inner Genius by Eric Butterworth, and he was genius in writing this book, I just have to say. So today, as we step into our 6th week, our theme is creation. This is when we now manifest. We've been doing the work and it's starting to show up. We're starting to see the results. The light that we are. So, but I'm wondering if perhaps the creative process has been more like this version of the creative story for you in your life experience. Perhaps we're still needing a little shift in perspective. So in the beginning, as we all know, God created heaven and earth, right? But shortly thereafter, God was in receipt of a notice to show cause why he shouldn't be cited for failure to file an environmental impact statement. He was granted a temporary planning permit for the project, but was stymied by a cease and desist order for the earthly part. At the hearing, God was asked why he began this earthly project in the first place. He replied that he just liked to be creative. So he said, "Let there be light." The officials immediately demanded to know how this light would be made. Would it require strip mining? What about thermal pollution? Well, God explained that the light would come from this huge fireball, and provisional approval was granted with the proviso that no smoke would result. The authorities demanded the issuance of a building permit, and to conserve energy required that the light be left off half the time. So God agreed by saying he would call the light day and the darkness night. Officials replied that they were only interested in protecting the environment, not in semantics. So then God said, "Well, let the earth bring forth green herb and such as many seed." The EPA agreed as long as it was only native seed that was used. Then God said, "Let waters bring forth creeping creatures, having life, and the fowl that may fly over the earth." That was right there. Officials pointed out this would require approval of the Department of Game, coordinated with the Heavenly Wildlife Federation and the Autobungelic Society. I don't think that's even a word. Everything went along smoothly until God declared that he intended to complete the project in 6 days. Officials informed God that it would take 200 days at least to review his many waiver applications and environmental impact statements. And after that, there would have to be a public hearing, and then there would have to be a 10 to 12-month probationary period before, at this point, God created hell. So we take a breath. Life can be experienced in such a way that we are not in alignment with the creative project divinely bequeathed within us. Hell is another way to define our reality when we live in separation. Are you living in separation of your divine self, your creative genius? Because hell is an experience that we have in the here and now by our own creation. It appears endless obstacles may pop up in our way and prevent the flow of creativity and the potential success of our goals, our dreams, and our plans. Perhaps you've experienced a kink in your flow. "Excuse me, may I help you?"
"Oh, wise one, I'm trying to raise a garden, and I just am not being successful. Everything is dying. All my ideas are dying."
Are you not having a flow of the water source to support?
"I've got the hose and the nozzle."
Well, did you notice you're standing on your hose that might be interfering with your flow?
"No." "Oh my God. Oh, it works."
So all we have to do is step off the hose. How many of you are standing on your hose and interfering with the flow of your own creative garden? When we're standing on the hose, that's what hell feels like. Things aren't happening. Things are dying. We feel stagnant. It's toxic. And we wonder what we've done wrong. We wonder why the world isn't supporting us, and we look outside for the answers, right? Eric Butterworth suggests that creative ideas are ever present as the possibility of fulfillment. We are in control of the flow. So I want to share with you what he said, because I thought this was very relevant. He said, "Too many of us remember that creativity is an integrative process. that we need to take time to consciously establish our oneness, to get into the flow. We need to let our hands and hearts be channels for the flow of wisdom and creative ideas. To let our hands and our feet and our voice and our entire being be in the flow of wisdom and creative ideas. Our job is to understand this process is what we've been inspired to take on as a paradigm shift. That's not always comfortable, but a shift from what we thought the way life happens, and we're standing in the hose and wonder what's going on, to how we co-create reality and the power that we have over our own dominion, our own reality. Remember what I said at the beginning of this series, that we must be willing to shift our thinking, basically get out of the way of ourselves, to shift our thinking, but to see with a new perspective, those eyes from within that are aligning with the light, to see with new perspective, to see with and as our light, the energy of life that we are. Are we aligned with that? When the flow stops, that's a message to us that it's something we need to change, to shift in order to get the flow going again. Each step in this creative process has provided us with the tools and the practices that we need to keep moving into creating and manifesting a life that is meaningful and that supports us to thrive with abundance. It is aligning with our natural desire to express. Frustration is the energy block. Frustration is when we stand on the hose because the flow isn't happening. Something needs to change so that I can get the flow going again. So know this, what we are talking about is the process of manifesting prosperity. That's what the creative process is. It's a way of living abundantly every day as a part of who I am, because my natural expression to create manifests my good. When it was written in Genesis that on the sixth day God said, "Let us make humankind in our image and in our likeness, and let them have dominion over all the earth and all the living things." We are given a significant key in that statement, but have we understood what it really meant? For instance, what does dominion really mean? You know, in the dictionary it says supreme authority, sovereignty, but Charles Fillmore, who's the co-founder of the Unity movement, defines it metaphysically as this: as a perfect child of God, humanity is born to complete dominion over all creation. Dominion is an inner consciousness obtained only through mind discipline, aligning with our consciousness. This supreme authority comes as humanity realizes our oneness with our source, that which we have named God. God is our source. We align with the oneness of who we are that holds dominion, authority over the creation of everything we experience, everything. So we have the power to claim authority over all that we create in life when we practice continuous alignment with our light, our divine self, and we center in directed faith to project into the infinite realm of divine ideas and see what wants to be called forth. When we step on the hose or our flow, we experience lack. We experience fear. We experience doubt. Those can be all part of the human experience, but they're a message to us that we get to choose to do something different to change that experience, to change that reality, to co-create with the light. We are subject then, if we think the world outside of us is causing the impact of why things aren't happening the way we want it, if we're looking to blame or judge something outside of us, we are then subject to the reaction of the world around us. How many of us get caught up in that? What other people say, what we read and think it's the truth. That's very scary. Thinking the world is against us and preventing us from achieving our dreams. And so we give up because we are living in absolute separation from our light. And how tragic is that? So it's very much like considering the second creation story. Yes, there is a second one in Genesis 2. You know, the one with Adam and Eve. So when Adam was created, God thought he may be lonely, so he put him into a very deep sleep, taking a rib to create Eve. And then they were instructed to enjoy the garden, but not to eat from the tree of knowledge. And then, of course, Eve was enticed, and she did, and we know. Then they were thrown out of the garden to toil forever, and it affected humanity. So the whole point is, did you ever notice, because it's not there, in the Bible, where it ever said that Adam woke up? Adam represents humanity. He represents all of us. So if we're in this deep sleep of unconsciousness, and we're toiling in the world thinking that, you know, and we're into that shame and blame and all that stuff, we somehow, there's something in us that will wake up and say, oh, I can still be in the Garden of Eden, and everything that I need is provided for me. So this creative process is really more about us waking up to who we are. To recenter and realign with our inner power, that vibrational light that guides our ability to express our creative genius. We didn't lose anything. We're just unconscious to it. And so the whole thing was set up because as to be a co-creator, we have to be the activity of reawakening. That's our enlightenment, right? So this whole exploration of our creative genius with the creative process has been about being awake to who we are. Putting the eyes on it. We're standing on our hose when we're walking in our sleep, unconscious to the inner power to manifest and co-create life. It's sort of like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz when she said, you always had the power. You always had the power to come home to who you are. Butterworth suggests that the sixth day of the creative process is really expressing our oneness with the universe. It's recognizing our oneness. It's living in the awareness of our oneness. He said it encompasses the process of the creation beginning with an idea. It's the process of involution, involving from within. It begins from within. And then evolving through to fruition. So we go within, we take ourselves within so that we can tap into infinite mind and then evolve back out and bring that into fruition. Manifestation into the physical reality or the likeness of the idea. That's the evolution process. The likeness of the idea. When God said, in the likeness of humanity, of man, he's talking about the idea that man can conceive from within himself. So the sixth day suggests humanity is established as an eternal idea in infinite mind with the ultimate destiny to be the likeness of that idea, or whatever idea is intentionally held in mind. The phrase God created man, humanity, is a metaphor dealing with the complete spiritual prototype of the creative goal. What is held in mind produces after its kind, the law of mind action. How many have you heard of that? That's what we're talking about here. What is held in mind produces after its kind, in its image and likeness. What I hold in mind, whatever idea I can conceive from the infinite realm within me, can come forth to have authority over my life, to demonstrate the empowerment of who I am. The law means it works in the absolute every time, but we have to do it consciously. That's when I say we have to change our thinking. There's something you have to change a perspective. It's realigning your consciousness with truth. So Butterworth then says the 6-day declaration clearly states that the male-female energy, because he refers to that, is representing metaphysically thought and feeling. We must have both. It's the spiritual nature of the created. They must collaborate in union with the creation to be revealed. And it outlines the necessary step of thought and feeling coming together in the process of every creation without exception. You can't try to find a quick fix or a way to skirt around it in any way. So I want you to really get this, to really know this. Our thoughts combined with the feeling, which is vibrational energy, then is the power that illuminates the process forward. And we begin to see the way. Do we have the courage to step into it? To step out of our comfort zone? To act as if it's already happening, because we know if it's from a divine source, it already exists. It's just up to me to bring it forth, to give birth to it. So the whole statement, let us make humanity in the image after our likeness and let them have dominion, allows us to clearly see that we have been identified as co-creators, endowed with the innate knowledge of the creative process, which is our creative genius. Whether you think you have it or not, you do. And what you think becomes your reality. So notice what you're thinking. Dominion, meaning creative dominion or authority of the superconsciousness. And see, we throw those words around. The superconsciousness is really just defining that infinite realm of our divine nature that contains anything and everything you could possibly conceive of, and we have access to it. And it is contained within every being, no matter how they show up or what they demonstrate. The realm of infinite mind contains infinite potential of any and all creations in life. If you see it, it exists because the creative process brought it forth. It's our birthright. This is our birthright, but we have to claim it. So how are we honoring or collaborating with this incredible gift inherently bestowed upon us in this current manifestation of life? Think about that. Think on it for yourself. How are you honoring this gift that's inherently bestowed upon you? It's the only thing we really need to be considering and living into our life reality. How am I using my creative genius that I inherited as a being? And are you willing to claim this affirmation for yourself? Within me is the unborn possibility of limitless living, and mine is the privilege of giving birth to it. I want you to listen to this again, claim it, feel it. Within me is the unborn possibility of limitless living, and mine is the privilege of giving birth to it. Is there something in you that goes, oh yeah? So what are you giving birth to? What are you giving birth to? Manifesting through our creative genius is a birthing process, one that involves stages, as we've been experiencing, expansion, labor, that's not comfortable, challenges, courage, all the things that take part in a birthing process. And in all birth processes results then in a sense of joy and ecstasy and delight, because it came forth through me. And would we want to deprive ourselves of this most empowering experience of living? Would you? in the here and now, not as something in the distant future or only experienced in the so-called afterlife. How many of us have bought into that? We can't experience heaven until we die. That's not the truth. All we have to do is wake up and acknowledge the creative genius within us and co-create a life of meaning and purpose and abundance in this moment. I'm always reminded of this process. My granddaughter McKenna, and I've shared this with others, and I don't remember who and where and why, but it just speaks to me, and it always comes back to me to inspire me, that when she was graduating from the 5th grade, her teacher asked each of them to write a mantra, something that speaks to who they are. And it was a transitional process because they were going to be starting middle school and a different stage of education the next year. And her statement was, always be your own magical creature. A 5th grader said that. And I have been so inspired. And you know, Nancy Jackson, she brings up like how to see this day as magical. And it aligns with that living our creative genius is being our own magical creature. Each day can be magical when we truly know and align with our inner light, the vibrational energy that is flowing through us, waiting just to be directed into reality and form. In and as and through us, in our likeness, through whatever I hold in mind. The likeness of that. And I always say this or something better, because in my human semi-conscious state, I might be limiting the possibilities with what I know. You know, sometimes it's like, I'm a little timid. It's like, well, I'm only going to conceive of something that I know is a guarantee to happen. How many of us think that way? What if it's always guaranteed to happen? What if, in the process, we already act as if? How would I be preparing if I knew it was guaranteed to happen? Would you be doing something different than you're doing now? I want to invite you into being an intentional creative, to really step into who you are. Now, I plan to do a workshop today after service. Nobody signed up. So, I'm wondering, did any of you think you were going to stay after to participate in that? Of course you were, Jennifer. So, the thing is to show up, we need to say, I plan to do this. And the whole point for me to offering this is for us to practice and to really understand how I live this creative experience into life. And so it's about planting seeds, and I really want to challenge you to know that as we can experience it individually, collectively, as a community, as a spiritual community, as unity of South Sound, we can also use this process to co-create a thriving ministry. A ministry that perhaps hasn't even begun to realize what it is we need to create in order to support a future thriving state. To visualize a powerful, inventive expression of creativity demonstrated as a thriving, evolving spiritual community in the here and now. What would that look and feel like? Is there something stirring in you out of the box of what we're already doing? Or in this absolutely so empowering position that we're in coming out of the pandemic where everything had to get shut down, we get to reawaken the atom within us to a new consciousness of reality, of possibility. And thinking outside of the box, what would that be? So if staying after service today does not fit your calendar, I am in the creative flow of creating how we can still get together in a way of playing with this process of our creative genius together. So maybe we'll do a Zoom session. Maybe we create a vision team where we get together and we affirm a statement of the thriving ministry and what we're co-creating and start planting seeds, what would it be? Would we maybe have a group of people that get together that like to write? And so they start to create things that maybe we can share here. Maybe there's a group of people that we already see, there's artists, but you get together and play together. Maybe there's a group of people that music inspires them and they like to write songs that we can share here. Maybe you like movement and we can have some kind of a dance experience. What is the creativity, this wanting to be birthed within this community, and we can practice together? If you're inspired with an idea, would you please email me at revmegansouthsound@gmail.com? We're moving forward in unexplored territory, but it could be an adventurous, creative, empowering process. So, what would we do if we knew, how would we prepare if we knew everything we needed to thrive already existed and it was guaranteed to happen? How would you show up differently? That's my question to you. Putting our feet to prayers and calling our good forward. That's what we do. So in closing, I want to share this quote by poet Adeline Ann Proctor in the end of this chapter because it was just so empowering and really spoke to me. She suggests in her classic poem, The Lost Chord, let your fingers wander idly over the keyboard or the computer or the workbench or the sewing machine or the canvas or the cook stove, and you will touch your own lost chord, which will quiet pain and sorrow like love overcoming strife, and it will be to you the harmonious echo from your discordant life. It will link all perplexed meaning into one perfect peace. So let us know this truth of the creation of this week's theme. You can put that quote up there. I'm going to say it once, and then I really want you to know it with me. I am established in the divine flow of substance, the manifestation of my good, and this is in your study guidebook if you have that. But let's know it together. I am established in the divine flow of substance, the manifestation of my good. Can you feel it? Waken to it. We are so blessed. And as we feel our blessing, we become a blessing to the world by demonstrating our creative genius. And that is something to celebrate. Yes? Yes. All right. And so I'm going to invite you to live this experience in our meditation. And moving into that, I was inspired to invite you to sing into that. And if you want to sing with me, otherwise just feel it. It's a simple chant by Karen Drucker, The Blessing to the World. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and all you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and all I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world. And so we let the vibration of the singing bowl begin to awaken us as we go within to remember who we are. Breathe it in. Begin that journey with your outer eye closed, that you might open your inner eye, the vision from the infinite mind that is the oneness you are. For in a still place within, where only you can go, let the energy of the words, let us create humanity in our image and likeness, male and female, thoughts and feelings, created now, move through you. Be as an observer of your thoughts and feelings. Just notice what is your light reflecting on. You are witnessing your creation as an observer. What is the likeness of your thoughts and feelings coming forth within you now? And just feel yourself unlimited by space and time to understand and accept your eternal essence, to be awakened to it. And align with these truths. I am life, vibrating as perfect health in every cell, organ, and function of my body. Every cell is awakened. I am the radiant light of pure knowing, for I have access to all that I need. I am established in the divine flow of substance. All the resources that bless me are available to me now. I am protected, for I live under the shadow of the Almighty that is the creative vibration of life. I am love, and I am secure in the energy of all true relationships. They all work for my behalf. For I am my own magical creature, demonstrating my own creative genius now. In the silence of my being, I align with my thoughts and feelings and allow whatever the idea in mind to be birthed. I breathe, I feel, I know, and I realize the magical creative genius within me that supports the abundance of my life right now is a gift. And as I bring my awareness back into this moment in time, to the physical reality, I remember to claim my inheritance as a co-creator of my reality. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, wait. Thank you, Reverend Megan. I took a lot of notes, but no, it's not a but. I took a lot of notes. And I will have to tell you that I've never had such a clear message, and thank you, Julie, as well, Gardner Julie, about stepping off the hose. I love that. So I'm going to get off the hose. Welcome, newcomers and live streamers. We want to thank all of you who are joining us potentially for the first time here or online. And we want to thank you for sharing your consciousness and your love with us. We also have a welcome packet for you at the back table if you're here with us in person. If this is the second time you've joined us, welcome back, and please keep coming back. If you've been with us for a long time now, welcome home. And to all of our friends, we want to share our unity blessing. So to our newcomers, live streamers, and all of you here with us in the sanctuary today, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. Now we'd like to prepare for our love offering, and we invite Kim and Brian up to prepare for their next song. This is the time in our service where we have an opportunity to share of our financial blessings with this community. And there are a few ways to do that. You can visit our website at unityofsouthsound.org. In the upper right corner of our homepage is an orange donate button. You can make a one-time or ongoing donation there. It's simple and it's secure to do that. You can also call our office at 253-301-0385, or you can mail us at Unity of South Sound, 710 South Anderson Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405. And if you're here in person, there is an offering plate on the back table of the sanctuary. So however you make your tithes and give your gifts, we hold these love offerings in this moment, and we hold them in our hearts and our hands, and we affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God.
Lost at sea, was under the waves for love rescued me. I was a fighter, I could turn or to pray. Now I stand accused of the things I said. When love comes down, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes down, I'm gonna catch that thing. Maybe I was wrong, never let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. You spent love on the restaurant, making promises I was soon to forget. She was the place on the left it standing for love came to town. Love come to town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love come to town, I'm gonna catch that plane. Maybe I was wrong, never let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. Crucified my Lord. I held the scabbard while the soldier drew his sword. I threw the dice as they pierced his side, and I've seen love conquer the great divide. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that flame. Maybe I was wrong, never let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you. Nice job, guys.
Oh my goodness. Hallelujah. Whew. Nice mic drop there, Kim and Brian. Okay. We do have a few announcements that I will cover now. Okay, so highlighted for you this morning, we just want to share a few things. And we also want you to know that you can keep up to date with all of our Sunday services and events by subscribing to our weekly newsletter, the eBlast. And you can find that by going to our homepage, click on Newsletter Sign Up, and then fill out your contact information and submit it there. And again, your information will be safe and secure on the site and will never be shared. Our prayer flags, please join us each week in Wesley Hall after the service as part of our Faith in Action program to create a personal prayer flag to hang in our sanctuary. They're right here. They're beautiful. And they are reminders of our intentions and affirmations in our creative process. If you're watching from home, we invite you to create your own and hang it for inspiration. Text to give. This is new, and it is great news. So we have a new way to donate and share of our gifts with Unity of South Sound, our community, you can simply text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the number 833-217-5435 to donate directly from your device. So easy. It's safe and secure. And we've got cards in the back with this number if you'd like to take it with you. And I would actually offer that if you want to take your device out right now, you could certainly put in the text where you would normally have a number, the number 833-217-5435. Save that as a contact, maybe a favorite. And when you use that, you get to enter how much you want to share and give, and it will also provide a receipt. Yeah. Our intentional giving program. Unity of South Sound is holding an intentional giving pledge drive in conjunction with our Faith in Action, and it is going on now through December 20th. And I'd like to call up Al, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the program. Come on up, Al.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name's Al Hove. I'm on the Faith in Action team with a focus on intentional giving, and which is a key component of Faith in Action. This year's Faith in Action program has been, for me, really amazing. I trust for you as well. I'm thrilled when I learned that Reverend Megan was going to bring this to us this fall. I knew the commitment it would take to create because I'd experienced it several times before. I was so excited that our new minister would come with the courage and the vision to do this so early with us this fall. And here we are, 6 weeks into our 7-week program, and I'm still loving it. The powerful messages, again, as we heard this morning, the amazing music, the prayer novena that we had here, the walking of the labyrinth, the music, which is fabulous all the time. So many things, the artwork, absolutely amazing. But perhaps most importantly, I love seeing so many in our community step into the yes, willing to serve, putting hands and feet around the key roles. As a member of the Intentional Giving team, I'm grateful for the chance to be talking with you today, whether you're here in person or home online. But then came the questions. Where do I begin? Ideas began to swarm in my head. How do I make real this opportunity that lies both within and before us? And who am I to really carry forth this message of transformation for us individually, as well as for our spiritual community? For inspiration, I turned to our book. What an amazing book, as Reverend Megan mentioned, The Creative Life by Eric Butterworth. With faith in my heart and belief in his 7 keys to inner genius, I thought, there too, this might light the way. Eric Butterworth reminds us that we are all children of God, radiant beings of light and love, made in the image and likeness of God. This is who we are. This is who I am. Eric also reminded us that we not pray to a God that is out there, but rather to the consciousness of the God within. This is who we are. This is who I am. This is who you are. We are co-creators for that light. In other words, as co-creators, there is a personal effort that is required. For as children of God, we are conduits of the flow of divine love. For inspiration as to why it's important for us as a spiritual community to create our financial vision together, I found wisdom in the words of Martin Luther King. All people are caught in an inescapable web of mutuality, tied together in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be all that I ought to be unless you can be what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. So where do we go from here? Let me tell you a personal anecdote. After I turned 60 years old, but before I could retire, I launched into a new venture, a consulting business, helping nonprofits, something I'd been doing for about 40 years. After a few years of good work, mostly volunteer, I was about to sign a very significant 3-year contract for a great project. But then the pandemic hit and shut everything down. I was bummed, of course, forced to borrow from retirement funds to make ends meet. Yet we persevered, Rose and I. We counted our blessings, and we kept the faith by continuing our pledge commitment here to Unity of South Sound, because we knew that church revenues were also declining. Attendance was less than what it otherwise had been. Fast forward, and happy to report, last April I turned 66, and I signed a 36-month contract to move forward with the exciting project that I had originally envisioned as lead counsel for this project. So with gratitude, Rose and I enthusiastically and excitedly made our increased Faith in Action pledge for 2023, and we plan also to make a stretch gift toward the deficit, which is our growing gap in 2022 revenues. So today, if you haven't already, I ask you to join us. And here's why, by the numbers. Our intentional giving goal for 2023 is $150,000. 65% of the operating budget for next year. This was set by the board, and it was a wise decision and necessary for them to plan forward our programs for 2023. To achieve that goal, we'll need to get creative as a community, and it will take all of us to get there, commensurate with our ability, of course. By that I mean each of us is asked to consider a stretch gift, a stretch commitment, giving from a place of love rather than fear or obligation, and again, commensurate with our ability. The law of giving and receiving demonstrates when we give something away, it's not lost, but literally creates the flow for even greater abundance. So in addition to our Faith in Action campaign, there is a gap of nearly $60,000 of 2022 budget. So our projected expenses have exceeded our anticipated revenue for this year. To help us address the gap, we ask all of us, each of us, to consider an additional gift to help us close this gap for 2022. In the alternative, you may wish to start your Faith in Action commitment right away, rather than waiting till January of 2023. Although these numbers can seem sobering and perhaps create some challenges, Jesus reminded us that all things are possible to them that believe. So let me close with these final thoughts on why I am an intentional giver. I love this spiritual community. The positivity, the messages of truth. I love the unity principles and their practical application to our lives. I love that we tithe 10% of our revenues to worthy projects in our community. And I love that we have attracted a wonderful minister for us. Namaste, Reverend Megan. As you consider your commitment, I leave you with some thoughts on commitment by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elemental truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that could never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision arising to one's favor. All manner of unforeseen incidences and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would come his way. Whatever you can do, whatever I can do, or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Thank you all for your consideration.
Thank you, Al. Okay. Church cleaning day. Now, don't get overwhelmed. We're only going to attack the downstairs. And it's going to be fun. So bring your elbow grease. Help us pour some love into this building that we appreciate so much. And this is going to take place this coming next Saturday, November 12th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we'll be giving the auditorium level, the lower level of the spire here, a much needed scrub down. And really, this is just to get it ready and prepare for our 50th anniversary celebration. So, we're inviting family and friends in for that celebration. And we're just gonna clean up house a little bit before everyone gets here. So please join us. And if you can be here, please let the office know. Baby quilt making, Circle of Friends Women's Group is meeting to make baby quilts to give to families in need on Sunday, November 27th from 1 to 5 p.m. And again on Monday, November 28th from 5 to 9 p.m. right here in Wesley Hall. And all supplies will be provided, so please just come and join in any way that you would like. The Children's Christmas Bazaar is going to be Sunday, November 27th, and Sunday, December 4th as well, after the service. So you'll find some awesome gift ideas, some homemade treats, and great Christmas ideas at this annual bazaar. All proceeds will benefit our youth programs. And then I want to speak to our chaplains. So today is Chaplain Sunday. We have a prayer chaplain to pray with you after the service. And I believe that's Gary. Gary, could you stand real quick so we know? There's Gary. All right, thank you. If you have a prayer in your heart, please visit the vestibule right over here. And if the door is closed, that means someone is in a prayer at that moment. So please just have a seat and wait for the chaplain to open the door so we can maintain privacy for those that are praying together. And we also request that you wear a mask in the vestibule. Masks are provided. If you have thought about becoming a prayer chaplain, please join us on Sunday, December 4th for an overview and a question and answer session about the program and what is required. And then finally, we did want to say that for the 50th celebration on November 20th, we've asked for some shared memories, and we've extended that timeline to accept those shared memories up to November 12th. So please send your shared memories about being a part of Unity of South Sound here over the last 50 years. And you can send those to our web address or email address, office@unityofsouthsound.org. Now it is time to bless our youth. So let's welcome in the children.
All right, thank you for that welcome in. So sticking with our book and our book study and all the creativity that we're doing, the practice for this week is to create an I am inventory. So our youth did that in their classrooms and created I am statements that they will take home with them. They have them written down, and they can say them throughout this week. And repeat them every day. And then our Wow You, they went through the questions, and they spent quite a bit of time on how do you deal with the expectations of others, that question, which is a great question, I think, for a teenager in high school, and really to consider that. And then our youth sponsor wants to say something.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that helped send us to camp. Our theme was I Align, and we had enough to have 3 families, which was great. And we all had a wonderful time. We brought 7 kids. We were 1/3 of the camp, actually. And we just had so much fun, and I'm just so full of gratitude for all of you. So thank you.
And I just wanted to mention something in sticking with our current theme today, right? Manifesting into the physical. We have the most amazing youth ed team here. And yet our youth, since coming back, has been small. The amount of youth that are showing up for our classrooms and for our Sunday mornings. And so we are just holding the space. And I would love it if all of you held the space with us. We do believe if we show up and we set up our lesson, they will come. And so our youth team continues to show up and set up the lesson and be here and be ready. And we're just holding that space for our youth to return into our classrooms. So thank you.
Absolutely. So what we want to do is bless these Godlights and bless these youth teachers as well. Thank you to all of you. So we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. We invite you to stand as you can and join us in singing the peace song. And if you have children up here, parents, feel free to come and join them. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And all is well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday and see you later today for the creation workshop. Yes.
If anybody is interested, just come in here and we can chat.
Okay, so if you're interested in the creation workshop, come on in the sanctuary and we'll talk. Have a great week.